wish me luck on this next one, because I think that we've seen that Donald Trump is in fact a loser on every level. I mean, the only man who became president and it made his life materially worse, and he wasn't even shot or assassinated, right? The only other presidents that are even in the same ballpark of a negative impact on their lives were either shot or winged during their time in the presidency. Everybody else, post-presidency, kind of a grand old time. Even Nixon, you know, kind of punted after that shit. But not so much Donald Trump. And it partly because not only is he a loser, but he surrounds himself with losers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Alina Habba in a hubba hubba outfit, as she is wont to do. I gotta say, I got no problem with what you're gonna wear, but if you're gonna be on a high stage, and this is someone who's worn a kilt on a high stage, so I know what I'm talking about. I would go for at least knee length. I'm just telling you, for your own. Now, you probably won't draw the same level of crowd at at Asshole Fest or wherever this shit was. At Toilet Points USA's Scam Fest 2023, which is where this is. This is her statement about. Maybe you've seen little pieces of this, but this is where the lady does her little speech. She's got a full
2024, folks. We're gonna make some history.
Yes, you're gonna run the first guy from jail ever, and he's not even gonna be on all the states' ballots, doomed from the start, and yet you're gonna drag down the Republican Party with you out of spite. It is historic.
And we're going to see young Americans reject the left more than ever.
Yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're sitting on it till it goes numb, and then it's the stranger, which is different.
Because what we're up against and what I'm seeing in the courtroom is political lawfare. And it's got to stop.
Yeah, because I can't handle it. I don't know how to respond. Political lawfare, it's like complicated because not only is there politics involved, but legal issues, and I am totally incapable of dealing with either. It's funny that I work for him and I went to law school, but I don't know what to do.
We are going to lose our country.
Well, it's everybody's, at least American citizens, and losing an election isn't losing your country. I'm sorry. You just suck it up and stop being a snowflake.
Our Constitution?
Well, I mean, obviously Trump's picks for SCOTUS are worrisome, but I think it'll survive.
And everything that the Founding Fathers created and wanted for our country.
Well, for the record, I will say they did not want armed lunatics storming the Capitol to change the vote of the Electoral College to benefit the sitting president who was going to, I guess, sick the National Guard on the Capitol and enforce this. I don't think they wanted a gallows built on the grounds. I'm just going to go there.
We don't wake up, show up, and speak up.
In that order? Because I think, just timing-wise, wake up, obviously, speak up, then show up. Assuming the show up is to vote, or maybe you just mean show up to speak up and fuck voting because this is really about pretending you have more numbers than you do.
And that's the truth. And if I'm honest with you,
it'll be a first.
When I first became a lawyer,
when the magical lawyer fairy came down and hit me on the head and go, and you can be a lawyer too.
Believed in the judicial system in this country. I thought judges weren't corrupt. I thought they didn't care about politics when they put on their black robe.
I thought Donald Trump actually was a rich businessman who knew what he was talking about. I was Were we all so naive?
That is not the reality of
It's not. It's so not. I mean, have you seen Amy Coney Barrett or any of Trump's appointees? Get the fuck out of here.
the country right now. And it's
Yeah, but it's only like a window of like 3 days. It's fine.
because of the radical left and because they cannot beat us.
He did lose the last election, like, soundly. While he was president of the United States. Like, highest office in the land, highest office arguably worldwide, still got his ass kicked. If he can't, if somebody outside, never mind.
So what they're doing is interfering with an election.
Well, I mean, he got word that he was going to be indicted before he started running, so you can't have somebody just declare they're running for office if they're pulled over for drunk driving and go, "You're interfering with a fucking election." What? Why? Because I've decided to run for mayor.
But that's why I like coming to events like this.
Because they pay you, and unlike your boss. Unlike Trump, I got paid. They gave me the check before I even walked on stage. It was fabulous.
I was so lucky when President Trump
Drove by the bus stop and saw your ad.
asked me to join his legal team.
Yeah. He didn't ask me. It was more of a Craigslist thing. Looking for hot lawyer who will work for free, willing to ruin their reputation for a complete fraud. And also, you must have no respect for your entire sex.
What an honor.
It was. It's such an honor. And that's the only word I would use is honor. Mainly because ever since I met Donald Trump, I've been saying Your Honor a lot. Not to him, obviously.
And many of you may not know.
This could be anything.
The first case that I took on as him being the plaintiff.
As him being the plaintiff. Sometimes reading is fun and dumb and mental.
Was the proudest day of my life, and that's when I sued crooked Hillary Clinton.
Oh, the one you just lost and you got fined $1 million? That was the proudest day of your life when you filed a lawsuit that would later cost you $1 million? What happened after that? What happened after you sued Hillary Clinton? How'd that go?
And I gotta tell you, it felt good to file those papers.
Yeah, buddy, it did. And then you were like, oh. The response wasn't fun.
I took on the Justice Department.
Not really.
I took on everything having to do with the Russia hoax, the fake FISA warrants that they lied and got.
Oh, you mean the one that the guy lied on the form in a way to help Trump by not writing down that Carter Page had been a CIA informant at one point or had been an advisor. They'd asked him questions about stuff because that would make, if you put that on the form, it's more likely that they will they'll allow you to wiretap them because they previously have worked with the government, and that makes them, different from an average member of the public who might just be working in Russia or what have you. So the guy took that part off so that they would rescind the FISA warrant, but they continued it because there's no material reasoning from the first warrant application to the second one.
And it was all in a perfect complaint.
But
that got assigned to a Clinton-appointed judge.
So you're going to move to remove his case from a Trump-appointed judge in Florida because you wouldn't want even the appearance of impropriety?
What do you think happened?
This person was hired and appointed because of their qualifications, and the Senate put them through because they can fucking read.
You've heard of the case, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's because...
No, and by the way, listen to the crowd there.
I never met the judge. I never walked into the courtroom. There were probably 50 lawyers representing all of the radical left. Clinton.
Wow, I got to say, for communists, they sure do pay a lot of salaries.
Lawyers, Mook's lawyers, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah, because you sued all those people, so they had to waste their fucking time and money responding to it.
And on.
QAnon?
1 month. It got dismissed, and me and President Trump got sanctioned $1 million for going against crooked Hillary.
Listen to the guy. What?
It got dismissed, and me and President Trump got sanctioned $1 million for going against crooked Hillary.
What? Yeah, that's what she said. Also, I think, quite frankly, as soon as she said that, I was like, what? It's President Trump and I. It's also former President Trump and I.
You didn't know that, did you?
Yes, I did. And as a matter of fact, it makes me giggle kind of randomly. Sometimes I'll be making a cup of coffee or cooking dinner or something like that, or just, wrapping presents, and I'll go, because I was reminded of something, just randomly reminded that you and he both got fined $1 million for wasting so many people's fucking time and money.
Fake news, folks.
Fake news would tell you that it didn't happen. They just didn't tell you at all. Because it's not a big story. With all the other bullshit he's doing, this doesn't even chart.
News, they won't report it.
They won't report it. So Newsmax did a story? RSBN? OAN? No, they didn't cover it either? Weird.
Guess what?
What?
We paid that $1 million, and we're going to keep on fighting.
That's right. And we're going to keep on paying. I'm not refiling that lawsuit, though. I will say that because it will lose in every state we try it in. And lesson learned. But I was very proud to lose that $1 million so quickly and so stupidly. Yes, and by the way, if losing $1 million every time you file something is your idea of fighting, by God, swing away.
So, I'm sure everybody has seen for the last 11 joyous weeks, I've been attacked and attacking.
Okay, so I guess it's a wash then? If you're attacking people and they're attacking you, then obviously something is going on that doesn't really involve the rest of us, I suppose.
Letitia James.
Okay, so you attacked her and she attacked you and you've been attacking each other. How did she attack you? Besides, like, going like this when you walk by. Oh, yes, I said her name and you guys go, woohoo! And this is fucking embarrassing.
The Attorney General for the state of New York.
Yeah, we know who she is. She ran on getting Trump and won.
Is trying to kill the Trump family, their organization, and the presidency.
Okay, I don't think she's trying to kill the presidency. I'll just start there. I don't think it is anywhere in Letitia James's goals to end the fact that America has a president. So let's just start there. Secondly, if the idea is that she's going to kill the business, that's a metaphor killing or whatever. Businesses can't die. They can just be shut down. I don't care how much Mitt Romney says corporations are people. They don't have the right to, like, an organ transplant. That said, she's not going to kill the family either. I don't think she gives her, like, a rat fuck about that family other than that they don't do business or defraud people out of charity funds in the state ever again. If that would kill them, then they're not the business people that they say they are. Secondly, you might want to air quotes kill from now on because you're talking to a group of psychopaths.
Before she was even in office.
She, like every other New Yorker, knew what a fraud and a piece of shit Donald Trump was. It's a ongoing, it's a known in New York City. Before
she had access, Miss James said, I'm going to campaign on one thing. This is how I'm going to get in office. This is how I'm going to get famous.
And it worked.
It's by getting Trump.
Right, we know this. He says this all the time. Notice how, though, that when she got into office, she didn't, like, look through the paperwork and go, oh, fuck, there's nothing here. I really ran on this, but I got to tell you guys, I've looked through all this shit, and there's just, I was completely wrong. Oh, my God, this guy is such a good businessman, and he's never done anything even remotely wrong, especially with the statute of limitations running out.
She said, I'm going to turn every page on the Trump organization. I'm going to go in there.
Turn every page.
Get Trump, and I'm going to go home.
Well, I mean, you can't stay at work all the time. What are you, a My Pillow worker?
That's
Jesus Christ. By the way, she keeps thinking she's going to get like a round of, like, she's got on her paper, she has like a little hash mark that means round of applause that she's just assuming she's going to get.
what we're dealing with.
Poorly. I'd like to say, dealing with, poorly.
Well, I've got a message for Miss James.
Oh, yeah? Well, you should probably file it and put it in court because I don't think she's going to get it because I don't think she's watching this.
She can bring her witch hunts, but I am the witch hunt slayer.
What? What? Witch hunts are an activity, not a dragon, dumb fuck. Also, a witch hunt slayer would be part of the witch hunt. That would be the person in charge of killing the witch, which would be your client. Maybe she's right. Just shut the fuck up. Don't applaud that. That doesn't even make any sense. Woohoo! Witch hunt slayer. Slay, girl. You slay.
So voting at the ballot box is no longer a path to victory for the left. They have to use this lawfare. They have to destroy our justice system, have people who are in the courtroom campaigning against Trump, making decisions about his company.
No. The clerk isn't making the decision. She's just in charge of keeping the record with the judge. And, you know, and she's campaigning against him because it's how you get elected in New York, because one of the big points of like the general point of agreement in New York City is that Donald Trump is a fake billionaire, a liar, and a cheat. And nobody with any fucking brains believes any of his bullshit. That's his kind of... And if you're going to get elected in New York, that's... If you buy his bullshit, they're just going, I can't vote for this person. They're gullible and stupid.
That is what we're up against.
Yeah, I know. I understand it. You're up against everything. It's you and Trump against the world.
But thank God, President Trump is resilient. And
fat. Sorry.
Thank God he's wealthy because he can fund it.
Because look at me. I'm expensive. I mean, I was about to say I don't earn that money, but if you've ever been downwind of him, seriously, you earn every penny.
But I'll tell you right now, they've been coming after him since 2015 when he walked down that escalator.
He didn't walk down the escalator. He stood and the escalator brought him down. That's how escalators work. And it's also, he was descalating at that point. It's a conveyance at that point, not an escalator. If you're going down, it's no longer escalating, lady. It's a conveyance. Ask him. He's in real estate, allegedly.
Tower.
When he came down the golden conveyance. God damn, the silence. It just drags, doesn't it? It's weird.
Clinton and the Democrats illegally spied on his campaign.
No, I think you mean Obama, because she wasn't, technically a part of it at that point. And also, no, they didn't. Somebody, an independent contractor showing what a badass tech they had, found that there were Russian phones that were in and around the White House all of a sudden whenever the transition team showed up. It's weird. They didn't even mean to. And again, how many times do you think you get to call a cartel head or a drug dealer before the DEA, who has that person's wiretap, warrant, goes, who the fuck is this number? Your Honor, this number keeps calling it. Like, one or two times it might be a misdial, but we're pretty sure this person calls all the fucking time. Can we look at them? Yeah.
Fake dossier that was...
Dossier? Well, that's a schmancy pronunciation. The dossier. Dossier? Dossier.
Through the media.
Vox.
And the fake Russia hoax.
Oh, the fake Russia hoax. So if it's a fake hoax, that means it's real? The opposite of it. Never mind.
Then it was the first sham impeachment over a phone call to Ukraine. Then we had a sham impeachment number 2 over the non-crime of objecting to election results.
No, you can object all you want to. It's when you try to secretly manipulate a Republican governor who you believe is on your side to find you votes that you have legally not been able to find on your own through recount after recount or any of that shit. So, yeah, that doesn't work that way. Thank you. I appreciate you getting that. It was very sweet.
And then we had Mar-a-Lago and the raid.
Mar-a-Lago?
Mar-a-Lago. And I'll tell
you mean the lawfully executed search warrant?
Right. I was sitting with the president the morning of that raid.
You were? You weren't? I thought you were. Oh, I guess it was Alina. No, yeah, it was Christina Bobb was down there.
We were in Trump Tower. And I won't get into conversations that are privileged, but I will tell you.
You mean the swearing and the laughing and the farting and...
That man acted like it was just a regular Tuesday.
Yeah, because he knew it was coming. He couldn't flip out because he was part and parcel to the whole thing.
And that is why he is who he is.
A fraud? A criminal? Yeah, I gotta say, have you ever seen the gangsters when they get raided or whatever? Like, hey, Charlie, what are you doing here? Like that kind of shit? That's why.
He is not afraid. And the more they come after him, the more we get up and we come after them.
Well, not really. I mean, literally, he didn't even testify.
You know what? It shows because his poll numbers are way up.
Except where they're not.
So despite there being absolutely no evidence in Miss James's case.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot of evidence. A lot of details. Here, I'll give you an example. His apartment in Trump Tower is 3 times smaller than it is. There are 10 floors fewer on 40 Wall Street than he has listed. He added 10 fucking floors. That's evidence. If you want to talk about somebody exaggerating the worth of a building, adding fucking 10 floors is, honestly, it is so cartoonishly stupid. It's one of the areas where people tend to say you can't make this stuff up, when in reality you absolutely could, because it's, like I've said before, anybody who says you can't make this stuff up lacks imagination, but you wouldn't write it down in a story because it's silly. These are like Anchorman kind of details.
Some information about what they did.
All right, let's do it.
They had a loan. They paid it early. They never defaulted.
He sued Deutsche Bank and kept them tied up in 2 years in court and had to have an investment group come in and bail him out. And he ended up getting $240 million in loans, quote unquote, forgiven because they bought it around him. Now, who was that person? Who in that investment group filled in that gap of money in the Deutsche Bank loan in the Chicago Tower? Who? Because we're not allowed to see because of LLC rules. Magic money that gets him bailed out to the tune of $250 million. They gave him a 6-week extension, and he missed it. And then he sued him so he wouldn't have to pay it back.
By some of the biggest banks in the country.
Well, we're not worried about them. We're talking about the banks outside the country. That's where shit gets fucked up.
They did absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah, that's what Rudy said.
The skyline of New York, and now Miss James, for her own political...
The skyline of New York? What the fuck? You didn't build the Chrysler Building or the Empire State Building. Get the fuck out of here.
And the Soros-backed DAs and AGs across this country cannot stay in office unless they accomplish one thing, and that's keeping President Trump out of office.
Okay. Out. You, out. Everyone, you are scuffing my floor. Out, okay? I will say she's pegging the sass meter right now. It's very weird. Where was I? Oh, yeah, I was pointing, and then I go back to my notes, because this is my closing argument, America.
So we are...
By the way, can you imagine this being an in-court closing argument? I mean, the point of sending your lawyer out is that they could make a case, you know, a Shazam closing argument. And
in the fight, but I got to tell you, it's a good thing I like to fight.
Yeah!
And that is the core of who Donald Trump is.
Well, yeah, he's not a businessman, and he's certainly not like a faithful husband and father, and can't run a charity for worth a fuck. So I guess fighting, I mean, he is wrestling with reality.
Despite the tyrannical evil...
Yeah, something like that.
...teams throughout history, the dark, desperate forces will literally do anything and everything to try and shut out the light. Yeah, but
the world keeps turning, doesn't it?
It is exposing every abuse of power that I have seen. Where power is given and supposed to be ethical and pure, it no longer is.
Yeah, we know. Trump put in a judge in West Palm Beach, and he's been using her to run interference for him. He's hoping the SCOTUS will protect him in the end. Yeah, we get it. He tried to create a legal backstop for himself, and it's not working.
But that is at the core of who he is.
A golfer in a diaper?
He brings light, even in the darkest of times.
Yeah, but it's an orange light, so everybody feels like a French fry.
And he brings hope to all of us when we think it's lost.
Yes. Yeah, he's basically Santa and Jesus and Leo Buscaglia and David Koresh and Jim Jones all in one. Lucky us. Woo! Somebody's feeling the light.
Most importantly, he brings results.
Uh-huh. Yeah, 1 million of them your way. That's a slow rolling applaud. Yeah, when results gets a...
And let's remember, those results are not results that you see in Washington.
No, you don't. Yeah, that's true. We did not see any results when he was in Washington. Mexico didn't pay for the wall, and the wall didn't work ultimately, and no infrastructure bill, no health care bill. Yeah, even his tax cut lowered the amount of results, and don't get me started on his COVID policy. So, yeah, he didn't... While he was in Washington, as the president of the United States, results were really low on his list, okay?
Those are the results that we feel at home.
Yeah, in our hearts.
Because our borders aren't open.
Well, not at home.
I'm not worried about what my school's teacher is teaching my children.
Right, because they go to private school or because you don't care?
Because there's bottom feeders and morally bankrupt individuals
working around him, like Stephen Miller and Jason Miller and all the Millers and Barnaby Miller. No.
Couldn't care less about the success of the country.
They could or they couldn't? Hold on, I missed that.
Because there's bottom feeders and morally bankrupt individuals who couldn't care less about the success of the country.
At least she properly used couldn't care less.
As long as they get a pat on the back from their Democrat puppet masters.
If they're puppets, aren't you just patting your own hand? Never mind.
But it's why...
That's right! It's Roseanne in the back.
Like this are so important. It's so great that you guys all came out.
Yeah, so they're all gay? That's amazing. Wow. Must be incredibly freeing. Like, no wonder they're not clapping. They're getting busy.
Because everyone in this room puts America first. Everyone in this room cares about our country.
Yeah, you know how I know that? Because it says America first on stuff. It's like written there. It says it. It's right there. It says it when it says it right there. It says it right there. Hold on. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. We're almost to the tail end of this nonsense. Where was I? Oh, yeah. You guys love America and everybody else hates it. Where are you going?
And by the way,
come back.
Have you ever noticed?
Did you ever notice?
Absolutely everything that they attack Donald Trump on, they have done themselves.
No, not a lot of pussy grabbers who defend themselves by saying, like, she's too ugly for me to sexually assault. That doesn't seem to be a thing. Also, using $250 million of business losses to offset taxes to the point of paying only $750 worth of taxes. No, not a lot there. Also, not a lot of, like, hiding classified documents in the shitter and on the stage at Mar-a-Lago. No.
Look at the boxes hoax. I call it the boxes hoax. That is
right, because you hang out with him and that's just like a trigger word.
President. Mar-a-Lago raid.
Mar-a-Lago? Is it Mar-a-Lago or Mar-a-Lago? Myra-Lago? It's Myra-Lago. Myra, get in here. You dropped a log in here and it's got to go. It's Myra-Lago.
The president, sitting president, has something called the Presidential Records Act. He can take documents, he can declassify them, and he...
Yeah, but there's a process. We got to let everybody know they're declassified. Otherwise, he's leaving as a private citizen with documents that belong to the government. The Presidential Records Act doesn't let you keep every fucking thing you want. And by the way, if it does, you have zero case against Joe Biden. Honestly, if you think the president has super immunity after he's out of office, imagine what you're telling us that Biden has now for the next year.
Where he wants and move them. You know who can't? Joe Biden.
No, he's actually the president.
Because he wasn't president when he took his boxes in 6 different locations.
He was vice president, and Obama had written an executive order that gave him the exact same classification and declassification powers as the president. It's not even hard to look up.
Chinatown, in his car next to his son who's doing God knows what with God knows who. But
somebody in the back was like, we know. Yes, we understand. You have looked at non-consensual nudes of the president's son. Congratulations.
That is what they do. They hide what they've done by going after Trump. Look at the shiny ball, everybody.
You talking about his head when his wig isn't on, or?
Don't look at us.
Look at the shiny ball, everybody. Yeah, the shiny ball. That's the analogy. That's the root of it. That's the best you can do. That's the shiny ball. You're not gonna go with like little birdie or so just say it's a distraction. The shiny ball. What is it? Always New Year's in Philadelphia?
Well, they've got 1 year.
Yeah, that's plenty. I gotta say, it's fucking plenty. You do realize you're talking about the people who apparently cheated him out of his win while they weren't even in office.
And then we're going to be looking at them.
Are ya? With that finger? 1 second. Hold on.
Moon River.
Deep and hard.
All right.
You using the whole fist, Doc?
Yeah, I think so.
And
All right, look. If she's going to be looking at people deep and hard, just trim your nails, lady.
tell you right now, if I'm in Washington, I'll be relentless too.
Relentlessly losing $1 million a case?
They claim they're compassionate, but they let cartels and human smugglers wreak havoc on our border.
Well, I mean, again, what are you going to do? Bomb the Mexican side of the border? You're going to open fire on Mexico? Because that's compassionate, sure, I guess.
They claim they care about protecting our most vulnerable communities, while they literally coddle violent criminals and allow chaos and crime to plague the cities.
Yeah, I know. Remember 2020 during the summer? I don't remember who was president during that, but and now it's like every summer is like that, all the time. Every summer is the summer of 2020. It's just weird. And the COVID deaths on top of it. It just never stops.
James is sitting in court trying to take President Trump's business away, and her city has fallen apart.
I do think, I mean, any big city has its challenges, but it is a functioning city. You do realize Fox's headquarters are there, and all of their hosts managed to get to work somehow. I don't know how, but...
Look at your own states.
Yeah, you fucking... You.
California, New York.
That's not their own states. I don't know where you are, but I'm pretty sure.
Disaster.
Yeah, they're disasters. I mean, the biggest economies in the world, but they're disasters.
Because you're too busy looking at Trump.
That's right. You're too busy looking at Trump to arrest people, murder all over the place, just kill and death, and nobody goes to jail, and nobody gets tried because you're too busy. Like, I can't. I'm working on this whole Trump case. Just let that murderer loose. I'll get to them later.
Care about the people you're supposed to care about.
The taxpayer? All right, spattering of applause. Literally the definition of a spattering of applause.
This all goes beyond just partisan politics, or for me making arguments in a court of law. It's not about that.
No, it's about, I guess, baffling them with bullshit while we try to escape.
When I became a lawyer, I never thought I'd be standing here. I didn't go to school for that.
No, I did not. Okay? You think I took a class on how to dress like this? Fuck no.
Thought I'd be writing a couple boring briefs, maybe get a cool client.
Yeah, well, that didn't happen. She kind of walked into that one, didn't she?
But what an honor.
What an honor to not have the most uncool fucking client there is. Just a man with orange makeup. He slathers on himself and always manages to miss the area right in front of his ears. And whereas
what a moment.
It is a moment that I wish would pass quickly.
We can turn this country around.
Yes, back to the days of hundreds of thousands of Americans dying of COVID and a recession on the way, and and increasing the debt by $7 trillion.
And it has to happen now.
Yeah, it can't, dummy. You just said it's a year. It can't. I mean, if it does, you'll have to do it in the private sector. And if you can do it in the private sector, then obviously the president isn't stopping you. And so you're kind of, again, you're part of Bidenomics. All right. What are you doing on stage? If it has to happen now, fucking go do it. Do the thing. Go throw the switch. What is it? What do you got to do? What's the thing that has to happen now? People have to get mad. They're already mad. They have to say something. They're already saying something. They don't have any evidence. They don't have any proof that will exonerate Trump or criminalize Biden. If they had it, they'd have shown it by now. Both these things are on a path because that's where they belong to be.
They are trying to scare us into surrendering our dignity, losing...
Belong to be? That's where they belong? That's where they should be? Belong, yeah.
Will to stand strong and sacrificing our beliefs.
Which would be... rich people should get away with their shit while everybody else is fucked?
Destroying the Constitution, but I'm here to tell you that is never going to happen.
Well, no, obviously not, because Joe Biden's president, and if he hasn't done it already, he's certainly not gonna do it.
This movement is too strong.
Yes, it is a very strong movement, let me tell you. Yeah, this movement is it's a special kind of movement. Yeah, it's quite the movement.
We are too resilient.
Oh, can you be too resilient?
Too ready.
Too ready? I think you're just ready enough to not be ready.
Save America. Because everything is at stake.
Everything. Yeah. Yeah. Everything, guys. Clear podiums, suits that look like black and white picnic blankets that were cut out, high hems, fucking America First logos, TV screens, snacks, Steve Bannon's soap on a rope business, everything.
It's not just about what I see in the courts.
No, but I would argue, let cameras in so that we can see it too. No? Not gonna? No?
And I said this outside the courtroom.
Why don't you say it inside the courtroom?
President Trump has me. Outside, screaming in a mic with a camera in my face. But what's gonna happen when it's you?
When they're representing Donald Trump? I mean, look, his legal options are very bad, but I don't think they're that bad.
You don't have me.
But they want to.
And you've got some corrupt judge that looks at how you voted and you're supposed to be afraid? No.
Some corrupt judge. How can they look at how you voted?
No.
You're looking at how they're campaigning. It's the other way around.
The wrong team.
First of all, how the fuck does the clerk or the judge know whether you voted for Trump or not? I don't think that's automatic. Fuck, I don't even know that you voted at all. So the idea that somehow the judge hates you because you represent your client and because of how you voted, something they literally can't know, but that Trump wants to be able to look at, and you want him back, whatever. I can't believe I'm actually arguing these fucking stupid points.
Not us.
Right.
We're going to keep fighting for our children and for generations to come.
Oh, yeah, well, you'll be... I mean, you're going to be old one day. We all are.
And I can tell you, we will look back years from now
and laugh.
Remember these moments.
This is my inspirational part. This is the part where I'm being inspirational, okay? I'm going to nail him with this. Like, I'll do the pointy thing for most of it, but at the end, I'm going to this will be a speech for the ages.
Remember how we all came here because we were...
Because you were on a tall stage in a short skirt. No, and you're talking about something else. I'm sorry.
...afraid of what's happening to our country, but I always tell my children one thing, and I'm going to say it to you all.
Okay, because you're condescending to a large group of adults?
The opposite of fear is faith.
These women all came with me. We were all made in the same dispenser. It just prints us. Out we come.
So let's be able to say that we made our country stronger.
Yeah, we made our country stronger, absolutely. What does that have to do with faith?
It more free, and we made it more prosperous.
And we'll just have to have faith that that just happens automatically. Because I'm really shitting my pants right now. Pantsuit, underpants, I don't know, diaper.
And let's be able to say that when the storm came and when the
storm came,
tides rose,
and when the tides rose,
and when the noise got loud,
and when the noise got, is there quiet noise? Is there such thing? Never mind. The noise got loud. I'm able to say, look, she said when we're able to say it, I'm able to say it.
We were loudest.
Huh? You wrote that down. When the noise got loud, we were loudest. You're his lawyer. That's your closer. When the noise got loud, we were loudest. Do you tell your kids that's, look, kids, when the class gets loud, you be loudest. Is that, what the shit? Why, look, you don't even know why you're applauding. Except she said loudest, so you're being loud.
I believe in this movement.
Yes, we all do, dear. We all believe in this movement. All right, just remember that in everything you do. This movement, we believe in it. All right.
I believe in what's to come.
Which is?
And I absolutely believe we will finish this job.
Yeah, it'll be over. Your work for Trump will be over eventually. You can't work. I mean, you might be his lawyer in perpetuity, but the minute you lose, he's going to stop paying you before that happens and kick you to the curb.
We get to write our own story, not the regime in Washington.
Yes, create your own fantasy world where the rules don't apply to you.
And what a story it's going to be.
It's going to be such a story we're going to tell ourselves. And it's going to have daffodils and fairies and rainbows and unicorns and big sweaty Fabio-looking guys with shovels.
Act 1 was the political upset that shocked the world and all the prosperity and success that followed.
Oh, you mean Biden kicking Trump's ass in 2020?
2 was the rigged 2020 election.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and then your feelings about it right after you lost that election.
That will forever change our nation.
Will forever have changed our nation? Or it's just going to keep changing our nation? Like back... I don't know.
But now we're at Act 3.
Finally. It's good. But this speech is over.
President Trump wrote a book called The Art of the Deal.
No. Your Honor, objection. States facts, not in evidence. It was ghost-written, this book, and we have no evidence whatsoever that he even fucking read it, considering his behavior. No, he did not write The Art of the Deal.
Act 3 will be The Art of the Comeback.
So he's going to paint. Okay. Or he's going to come on somebody's... Never mind. That's it. That's the tail. Yeah, Act 3 is going to be the Art of the Comeback, and that's where it ends. That's the literal last sentence of this stupid fucking thing. My lord! Yeah. I gotta say, if I was in as much shit as Donald Trump is, and my lawyer talked like that, I would have a panic attack. That is some of the lamest, weakest, laziest, most ill-tempered nonsense that a lawyer that's currently on an active case could possibly say. This is Dershowitz level of bullshit. Good Lord.